Shout out. The Connects. Luis Guzman. Don't ever go, never leave my side. Passion's all I have, courage is my drive. And if I lost you, I would lose it all together. I wouldn't have composure to get it back together. I don't know.
Welcome to an Artist, Not a Salesman podcast, where we highlight the journey of entrepreneurs, creatives, and business people alike to showcase that every light and dark moment create a beautiful piece of art. I am your host, Luis Guzman, and we are brought to you by our sponsor of all things health and peptides, Hanobi.com, Hanobi Research. But my guest today is the future of sports talk and sports New York media, period. He's a natural talent that earned every right through hard work, hustle, and pure passion, and parlayed his greatness into a time slot on New York's WFAN radio in late 2021. He's a breath of fresh air in the sports media space and has recently stepped away full-time from the Fan to further expand his own brand, see how I rhyme, right? Through his multifaceted talent that can talk sports, understand the zeitgeist of the true fan in 2026. He builds community and true connection with his audience. And in case you didn't even know, he can also DJ and was the first radio host on the Fan to spit bars. True story. What else can this phenom not do? Now he's stepping into his true purpose and doing things his way. He's known for his endless knowledge on baseball, football, hockey, basketball. He's an OG, bleacher creature, a model, a Yankee fan, a father, a husband, a straight up brand, period. And he's here to talk about his next level in life and all the continued blessings coming his way. In studio to chop it up once again, Jersey's own, and his blue check was free. The brand, Keith McPherson. Welcome to the show, brother. Let's go.
Bam, 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 bam. Hey, don't nobody do an intro better than this guy. I said that the last time I was on the podcast.
That's right.
Don't nobody do an intro better than this guy.
Oh, man. Appreciate you, dog. Appreciate you, man. It feels so surreal, right? We talking off camera like 2021 was like yesterday, and here we are.
You blink, and the years roll over, and they pass by. And I think it's when you work, you just keep your head down, and you just are getting through every week and month, and flipping the calendar, and chasing your dreams and goals. And before you look up, it's like 2026.
Wild, right?
The year 2026. We're in the future now. I just got the new iPhone. I'm like, look at this iPhone. I remember getting the first iPhone. It wasn't like this. So we're here.
We here, man. 2021. I mean, how old is your son right now?
He's about to be 3 in April.
So you didn't have your son when we talked the first
No,
time.
he was not born.
You were just about to be a father. So
I don't even know if my wife was pregnant yet.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, how was that change for you, bro?
Oh, everything's different now.
I know we were chopping up about that off camera, but that must have been a crazy transition.
Everything is different now because your perspective changes. Mm-hmm. You watch a life come into this world, and then that opens a book for you that you just could not read before, right? Mm-hmm. It changes your perspective on your own parents. It changes your perspective on other people. Yeah. I was just saying to my wife yesterday, I was getting on the train. I was telling you guys how bundled up I was. I saw these 2 teenage girls. One of them had a skirt on with her legs out. The other girl had a hoodie, but then like a crop top shirt. I know I'm getting old because I wanted to say something. Hey, you young ladies need to bundle up. Hey, you're going to catch a cold.
We're the old men now.
But like, that's what happens when I've been taking care of a little person for 3 years, and my whole vantage point has changed now that like I was doing what I was doing for me. Now I'm doing what I'm doing for him, that he can inherit this, that I can pass it down to him so that he's straight. I done made it. I'm good. Yeah. No matter what happens to me. If I die today, I die legendary. They're going to talk about me and what I did forever. But there's more for me to do to make sure my son is straight.
100%. I mean, I have kids of my own, but they're stepchildren, but still, they're my children, right? And I have my nephew and nieces. So I have a bit of a feeling of what that must feel like to have that extra like gear in you.
Yeah.
But now with your son here and you just, being an example for him, you also got that extra gear in you to like really go as hard as you can. Like how does that change your every day now? Like, there's a lot of pressure, I'm assuming, right?
Oh, I mean, pressure is a privilege, like Garrett Cole said.
Garrett Cole.
There was always pressure, but like now is a different level of pressure, and like it changes. Like, do I need to take another shot tonight? Do I need to get another beer in me? How drunk do I need to get out here? No, I got to get home safe to my baby.
Yeah.
Oh, we gonna go to the next place? Nah, y'all got it. I'm good. I'm good. I'm about to take a cab home or take an Uber home. Like, I want to be home where my son is. I want to be home where my son is sleeping. And then when you talk about another gear, it's like, what else can I do?
Yeah.
Streams of income. How many things can I do to generate income? I didn't know how much a baby costs.
Ooh,
Nobody really
just
knows.
on formula.
I mean, I don't miss those days. We had this like European formula called Kendamil. Not trying to add the product placement,
No
free
ad.
plug for them, but it was better than the Similac and some of the other stuff. And it was expensive. I think it was like $50 a jar.
Sheesh.
And my son was he was
How long
guzzling
would a
them.
jar would take to go through a jar?
Like a week.
Damn.
So
$200 a month. Jeezy.
and then the diapers.
Oh,
they're
my God,
$50
that's
a
right.
box.
Yeah. Oh.
And it's really just glorified toilet paper. And then there's
true.
stages, right? Like he had a nanny from the time he was 4 months to 2. And every week
okay.
I'm going to the ATM and I'm handing my nanny $1,100 cash. And I'm like,
Oof. That's gotta hurt. Yeah.
I could watch him.
Yeah. And you start, right? When you have kids, you realize, damn, I could save money. Because I got it to spend it now with a kid, but
Yeah, but it's when you talk about unconditional love, you start to spend like he needs new pajamas, new sneakers. He's growing out of his clothes. I'm going to get it. I don't care what the price is. My wife and I, we can't tell you how much money we spent on our son.
Mm-hmm.
I think before he was born, we had a stash of money that we were like, this is for the baby. And then of course you get your baby registry. Of course, family try to help. But you blow through all those baby wipes that you got at the baby shower.
ASAP.
You
Yeah,
blow
quick.
through all that stuff that you got at the registry and Amazon. We did our registry on, and every day and every week. Even now, I'm like, I go grocery shopping, and the grocery bill is more because he's big now.
Yeah, he's big.
right?
He's eating more.
He has his own snacks. He has his own particular
personality,
food
yeah.
items that he'll eat. He doesn't necessarily want to eat salmon and baked potatoes with cucumbers that we're putting together, right? You don't want that. We need to get an extra box of mac and cheese for him.
There
So
you go. Chicken
yes.
nuggets coming soon, or is
He'll crush the
tearing
chicken
them up?
nuggets. Yeah, he'll eat the Beyond Nuggets too, the like fake chicken nuggets. So
Come on, he loves them all.
I fool him. He eats the real chicken nuggets at school. I get the Beyond Nuggets at home. My wife's like, you can give him regular chicken. I'm like, he doesn't eat any vegetables anyway, so the plant-based nuggets, they're in there.
He's going in. It's crazy you say that because you made me think about something when you're talking right now. Like I do have a feeling that when you become a parent, if you're intelligent like you are, you hold yourself accountable to kind of see all the stupid stuff you have created as a habit in your life.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it makes you relook at it. Like, I don't need another shot, like you said. Or, if I'm smoking, I'm not going to smoke anymore. It just makes you a better, like being a parent and being a good parent, it makes you a better person. You know what I mean?
don't want to be hungover taking care of a 1-year-old. Like I remember I went to the Knicks. The Knicks hosted the Heat in I think like the second round of the playoffs. It was like Game 5, and they beat the Heat in the Garden. Shout out to the plug back then, Casamigos, who used to sponsor They used to sponsor my Big Shot of the Night segment.
That's right. And the JBL Lounge and the Yankee
And
State.
they also would hook up the Legend seats.
Keith had row
JBL.
1. Yeah, row 1. I was like, I gotta get in there.
And what I was told was that was supposed to be Aaron Judge's parents' seats.
Whoa.
But Aaron Judge got so much bigger after the 2022 campaign. His parents, his mom,
That
Patty,
is sweet.
she became, because they kept cutting to her, right? They kept cutting to her in the stands.
yeah.
She became so recognizable. Now they're in a suite. Now sometimes they'll be in Delta. Now they're be in their own suite. I think they have their own suite. And sometimes I
Gotcha.
see Judge's wife in Delta. They don't want to be down there in Legends because they got people coming up asking them for photos. Anyway.
So you stole their seats.
So Casamigos claimed those seats. I got to get those seats. And then also they had these like Chase Lounge Delta Club seats at MSG. And I remember when my son was born, and parents know this, when you're a new parent, those first couple months, you don't know what you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's chaotic. You do not sleep. It's like every 90 minutes, the baby's waking up. You got to change their diaper. You got to feed them. You got to get them to relax. My wife had the C-section. So guess who was the one doing all of that at night?
You.
And I'm also just paranoid anyway. I couldn't relax and fall asleep because I'm like, I'm hearing him. I'm like, is he up? He's in a little bassinet.
Oh my God.
So then, shout out to my guy Lee, the former CEO of Casamigos. He's like, you need a break. I got some tickets for you. Bring
That's
a
so
friend.
dope, man.
Go to the game. And I'm telling you, that night I drank straight Casamigos.
Reposado?
Nah,
I'm a Reposado
Blanco.
guy. Are you Blanco?
I mean,
Blanco.
no, Reposado or Blanco is gonna hit you over the
Hit
head.
you over the head. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
There was a bartender that he literally heard my voice. He's like, I know who you are, and he started hooking me up in the Garden in the Chase Lounge. So the next morning, right, because I went out that night, my wife took care of my son. The next morning, my wife dipped out to go get her hair, nails done.
Right.
I think hang out with her sister. She's like, you got him. I learned that was one and done.
The hangover.
The hangover, dealing with a crying, screaming, kicking baby.
Sheesh.
Whoop, never again. So now I don't even drink to the point where I get hungover.
Yeah.
You definitely don't want to smoke and be around a baby. So like
God forbid, yeah.
And God works in mysterious ways, but it ain't that mysterious. I've become pretty sober and straight edge as a dad because I don't want to deal with my crazy ass son under the influence. I want to be straight and narrow dealing with him because you never know. What if you got to drive him to the hospital? What if something happens?
Anything can happen.
Right.
Anything, and if God forbid you had too many shots or whatever the case is, and you're not in the right state of mind to drive, etc. Now you're putting your life at risk and your son.
It's not about me anymore. Everything is funneled through him. I'm living for my son.
So dope, man. I'm happy for you, man. Seriously, I'm very proud. I told you this off camera. I'm proud of you, like, to see the evolution, not just professionally, and we'll get to that, but just as being a father.
Yeah.
Like, literally, like, you know, I come from a single parent household. My dad wasn't around. I know what that's like, not having a male, strong role model in the house to kind of, you know, make you and mold you into what a man should be. And the fact that you're doing that, oh man.
Well, where do you think I come from?
You, bro. Oh, that's right.
My parents were divorced around the age that my son is now.
About that, yeah.
And so,
how was that for you, man?
I've known my entire life that, like, when I have a kid, I'm going to be a great father. When I have, like, God blessed me with the son. I'll never forget. It was October 17th that we got the call. It's a boy. I ran out of the room and I came back in the room and dove on the bed. I'm like, I won life. My firstborn kid, and I don't know if I have another one, but I'm like, God gave me a son. And like, I never got to wake up with my dad waking me up out of the bed. Get up. Good morning, son. I never got to throw in the backyard with my pop. So I'm like, I get to do that. And rest in peace to my brother. My brother being 10 years older than me, he was a stand-in type of father figure. Yeah. And he didn't have his dad around either. We had different fathers. So him not having his dad around, he kind of looked at me like, yo, this is my little bro. It's my duty to kind of be an example for him, make him tough, make him competitive. And I love my brother for that. And so, I mean, now that I literally see my eyes, my son has my eyes, my eyelashes, my eyebrows. When I see my son looking back to me, I'm like, I got a responsibility to be here for this little man.
Yeah, man.
I have a responsibility to be what I did not have. And look how I turned out pretty well in spite of all that.
Mm-hmm.
But if I can pour into him and then he can grow up and stand next to me, possibilities are endless.
I think it's also, you know, to give you more credit, you're just so aware that, you know, I can't mess this up. I can't go back. I can't tread backwards. I got to go forward. I got to be the right example. And I have to, even though, you know, you say your dad wasn't around for your life, but you have a good family unit. I mean, you know, rest in peace. God bless your brother, Sean. His birthday was yesterday, right?
Yeah.
And he was also like a big impact on your life.
Huge. And the older I get, the more I realize I'm like, damn, that's why I'm competitive. Because like, you're playing against somebody who's 15 when you're 5 on Sega Genesis, Nintendo. You can't win.
No,
you're outside running and racing somebody. They're faster than you, stronger than you, bigger than you. For years, I'm going up against somebody with a distinct advantage.
Right.
But he made me tough. You know, he taught me little things. Like, he worked at the Gap, so he was really good at folding clothes. And we would do laundry together. And now I do my wife, my son, and my own laundry, and I fold everything perfect and put everything away, and I'm a machine. My wife knows she doesn't have to do it.
Wow, bro.
And that came from my brother being like, yo, you're going to sit here and fold this shirt until you fold it into a perfect square.
Wow.
We're going to do your homework, and after you finish your math ditto, I'm going to write you up some extra, like, bonus extra credit work. I don't want no extra credit work, Sean. No, we're going to test you. I'm going to write you up 5 questions. You got to do those too.
Wow, God bless him, man. Because
he knew.
He was your dad. If you think about it, essentially, like, he gave
my household,
he gave you the game.
Yeah, because my mom had to work multiple jobs and she wasn't always there, and you know, it wasn't that long of time, but like the years I remember were like 5 to like 18 before he went to college. And then he went to the city, he went to FIT, and he went to New York, and he was chasing his dreams.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, those young days of like 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, coming up in elementary school, and then even him coming back to visit, checking on me, right? Like, I always told the story on WFAN about how, you know, I wanted to play running back. and there was enough running backs. We needed somebody to play quarterback. When I was Pee Wee football, like age 12, and my coach is like, McPherson, take a couple snaps. And I'm like, I didn't want to. I'm like, me? And I came home sad after practice. My brother's like, yo, what's wrong with you? My brother knew something was off. What happened at practice? Yeah. And he's thinking I got dusted or somebody put me on my ass. And I'm like, what? That's football.
Yeah.
I'm like, they made me play quarterback. And he was confused. He's like, wait, what? They made you the quarterback?
You're the quarterback. You're the captain of the team, essentially.
I'm like, I don't want to be quarterback. I want to be running back or wide receiver. And after that, my brother went to the mall. He brought a football, and he's like, yo, they made you the quarterback. And I'm like, I don't want all that attention on me. I just want him to throw me the ball or hand me the ball, let me run the ball. He's like, no, we're going to work on some stuff. So we started working on him, snapping me the ball, throwing back and forth, calling plays, stuff like that. Like he knew. He's coming home from college. And I'm 11 years old. He's 21. He's like, yo, my brother is athletic. My brother's playing football. He didn't play.
Right.
I'm here as like a stand-in father figure to tell him playing quarterback, being the quarterback of the team is a good thing. Embrace it. Take it. And thank God I did, because then I was a varsity quarterback and got scholarships and went on to college and played quarterback. And I wouldn't have been able to get out of my situation any other way without a full ride.
Absolutely. It was your brother's advice and basically like molding of you.
The first person you come home and tell. God bless my mom, but I always tell the story too. I got my first offer from Hofstra University at 16, and that was mama, we made it.
Yeah.
And when I went home to tell my mom, I don't think, because she didn't go to college and she didn't really understand, I don't think she knew the gravity of I just remember her not being impressed. And her being like, okay, because it didn't mean anything. You still got to go through your sophomore, junior, senior year of high school,
right,
and not screw up off the field to, actually take that scholarship. But she didn't know the football stuff. She's still learning football. The first person I go home and tell they made me quarterback, being my brother, and him deciding to take the initiative to practice with me and make me feel good about you're the quarterback, changed my life. Literally changed the course of my life, because then I was the quarterback for my grade every year going forward, and I got good.
That's 100. And he also taught you some type of discipline too, right? You learned that through your brother's teaching. Okay, I got to get it. I can't be afraid. I deserve everything that's coming to me, but I got to put the work in.
Yeah.
And I think your DNA, your buildup is already someone that's a go-getter naturally, and you just want to get after it. But I think having those teachings from your brother, and it kind of just made you into the man you are today.
Yeah, he's a grown man. By the time I was a freshman at age 15, and he's 25 coming home, he don't want to throw at me anymore, because now I got form.
Yeah,
now I'm putting the ball right at you.
Yeah.
That ball's coming at your face. And after a couple throws, he's like, my hands hurt. You good? You don't need me anymore.
Yeah,
you're the freshman quarterback that they're trying to bring up to JV. And then I started varsity as a sophomore in high school. That's how I got an offer after my sophomore year from Hofstra, a local school, because they're like, they're early on the short conference.
They saw the talent early.
Yeah.
Man, how did that, and I don't mean to darken it, but I never asked you this. How did it affect you, his passing, and how did that whole thing transition into your life and your personal life and as your development of Keith McPherson? Yeah,
so I was working at MTV in Times Square, 1515 Broadway.
Yeah, 1515.
And my brother was working off 33rd Street. My sister was working somewhere around Times Square too. I think she was at 1500 Times Square.
Mm-hmm.
So we would take the bus together every day from exit 109 Red Bank to Port Authority. Yeah. And I would drive us from my mom's house in Neptune, which was a little further down, exit 100.
I'm 120. That's my exit.
Yeah. So, Jersey people know Parkway, Parkway. Yep. So, oh man, I'm getting I'm already getting I'm telling this story and it sucks. But, every morning was routine for us. And my brother, I told you, had been living in the city, but he fell on some financial hardship. He got in with a wrong crowd and he had to move home. So I remember when I came out of the MLB fan cave in October 2014, I moved him back home January 15. Mm-hmm. And then I started working at MTV March 2015. Mm. He passes in October of 2015. And it's just a regular day. I remember the day. I'll never forget it because it was a rainy day. And my sister being 12 years younger than him and 2 years younger than me, he would mess with my sister, and they're very much alike. They went to FIT. They both love the city. They're both artistic, and he would like mess with her because my sister would be dragging ass. She would, be asleep on the bus, and my brother would like wet willy her or give her an elbow. I remember getting off the bus with him at Port Authority. It's like a nightmare that like is reoccurring. I remember it's the last time I saw him. I remember getting off the bus and he's messing with my sister. And I give him a 2-hand shove hard. Like, yo, leave her alone.
Yeah.
And there's just like a sibling dynamic. And when I push him, he stumbles a bit, but he laughs and he's like, oh, like he like remembers. It's a rainy day. I left my umbrella on the bus. Yo, y'all go ahead. I got to run back to the bus, see if I can get my umbrella. Not thinking anything of it. Regular day, I walk to MTV. It's a Friday, and it's payday, and I end up staying at MTV late. I was a social media coordinator at MTV, MTV2. I had a lot that I had to do before the weekend, scheduling posts, so I didn't have as much work on the weekend, and he went to his job. He worked at an advertising agency doing graphic design. And I say it's payday because he would take his check on Friday. He'll go have a little liquid lunch, go drink at the pub. And then, they get out of work early on Friday and sometimes go back to the pub, get dinner, drink. And
Gotcha.
He was waiting on me. And I remember texting him like, yo, I got to stay here till like 6:30 because we were going to take the bus back together. He said, all right, don't worry about it. Like, I'm going to just chill here.
Yeah.
I'm over at the, the Irish pub that he went to. I end up leaving and going home and getting back down to the Jersey Shore. I remember I was meeting up with some friends. I used to have this like little studio that we rented called Next Glory Studio. So we had a meeting that I was like, I got to go from here to there, get to that meeting at 8, whatever.
Right.
My brother ends up having a rough night. He gets drunk. He's partying with these people, and he's got access to his office building because he's like that in the company, I guess. He's able to go back in there after hours. And it's a rainy night. He's in the building late. And I remember calling him after we had went to the bar in the Jersey Shore area. I think we went to the bar and got back home. And we realized my brother had never came home. And so I'm talking to him maybe at 2:30, 3 in the morning. And he says he's going to stay in Brooklyn at his old place that I moved him out of. Obviously, his roommate would let him do that.
Got it.
And I'm like, are you sure? I'm worried about him because I can tell he's drunk. And he had moved home to kind of stay out of that crowd and, be back with the family and try and do right. Long story short story long, he went up to his office building. He went out to the fire escape, which I went back to the building. Nobody should have been on that fire escape. It was through a window, old building in New York. It's like, how New York, the fire escapes are built for people that were in the 1920s that are smaller people. My brother's big as me, like 6'2", 200 pounds. But he used to do this so much, right? You know how people smoke a bogue, smoke a cig after they've had some drinks.
Absolutely, yeah.
He went out there to smoke a cigarette. He's drunk. It's a rainy night. He slipped and fell to his death 80 feet.
I'm sorry, Keith. I didn't know that, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
and so
man.
how did that impact me?
Oh.
It was tough because like I had to be the person to talk to the coroner. I had to be the person when when Monday came, he had been missing the whole weekend. I actually went back up to the city that Saturday to meet up with some friends, and I'm calling him and I'm texting him. And I even wanted to go back to, I'm like, this is weird. This is strange. I'm like, nobody's heard from him. His friend out in Brooklyn, right, at his old place in Prospect Heights, we hit him. No, he never got here.
Jesus, man.
So I'm like, either he's in the mix with some bad people or he's dead. He got in an accident, something happened, like he's gone. Sunday happened to be my mom's birthday. And we go home for my mom's birthday and nobody has heard from Sean. My aunt, my sister, nobody. I'm the only one with the presence of mind to be like, I just didn't say it. I'm like, he wouldn't be ducking my mom's birthday. He wouldn't be ducking me. I used to joke too, because he gave me money to get him an eighth. And I'm like, he was going to claim that eighth.
Yeah, he's going to claim that eighth. Yeah.
But that Monday, I'm the first one to go back to the city. And I go to our morning meeting at MTV and I'm choked up. And I have to basically raise my hand. And I'm like, I got to go.
Yeah.
And they're like, why? I'm like, my brother's been missing for 48 hours. I got to go to the police precinct and report a missing person. Like I think something bad happened to him. I put that report in, and within an hour, 90 minutes, they do a sweep of his building, because that's where he last was. They checked with the bar, anybody there seen him. They found his body behind the building in the alley, and they called me. They called my mom. They called my sister. My mom and my sister come up to the city. I'm already there. I already know. I remember leaving that morning too. My mom had his door open, and I closed his door, and I give my mom a kiss and a hug goodbye. And she's like, "Why'd you close Sean's door?" I'm like, because in my mind, I'm like, he's done. He's dead. Like, he's gone. Yeah, I'm like,
you were.
She's like, what if he comes home? He's going to think somebody was in his room. I'm like, Ma, like, let it go. So how did it affect me? I became a man in that moment for sure. And not only did I have to be the man for my mom, who, she couldn't do all the paperwork and all the conversations, talking to the coroner, the police. And I'll never forget when that officer came in and sat us down in the precinct, and he hit my mom and my sister with the news. And their cries, I didn't cry. I walked out. I just thought, I was like, this is a bad dream. I'm like, this is actually what I thought happened. Like we're never gonna see him again. He fell to his death. Like he slipped and fell, and like that's it. That's it. Like my brother that I was with every day, like that. Like that fast.
That fast. Like it's like in an instance.
That fast. And so you want to talk about how that rocked my world? Like that night, he was telling me, "Yo, stay at MTV. Do whatever they tell you to do. Stay at MTV, work. You're going to work your way up the ladder. You'll be an executive, a boss at MTV." And I remember even then being like, F that.
That doesn't even matter anymore, man.
Yeah,
like,
I'm not trying
My brother just passed away. Like,
and well, this is what my brother was telling me.
Oh, that's okay.
That night before all this happened. Like I'm trying to tell him like, yo, I'll meet up with you later. And like I had guilt for years, because I'm like, I should have just went there and got him.
Mean, man. Yeah.
But he's telling me as an older brother, yo, stay there and work or whatever. And I'm like, nah, whatever. But like, look at the trajectory I went on, because that shattered my world. That shattered my perspective, my view on everything, where I was like, oh, you really do only live once. Life is fragile. You could be here today, gone tomorrow. You got to go get it. You're in New York City just doing what you're told, staying at the office till 6. And like maybe if you left at 5, you could have slid down there, got your brother, met up with your brother. I'm telling you, I had guilt for like 2 years. And it took me a while to like I used to, on his birthday, I used to cry, just straight tears. On his death day, I used to just like, it was hard, bro. It was hard.
Bro, I'm sorry you had to go through that, Keith. I mean, it makes you feel, when someone passes away, especially unexpectedly, like how your brother died.
Yeah, sudden death is the worst.
It's the worst, and it puts things in perspective to what really matters. Because you start to feel like a piece of you, just somebody ripped a piece of your skin off and it's gone forever. And that's how you feel. You're walking around missing like a part of yourself.
Yeah.
And
a part of my identity.
And you can't put that back together. That's not something that, okay, I'm going to go to the doctor and just stitch it back. No, that's gone. And having to manage that and manage your career and manage life and manage bills and manage everything else, your family. And on top of this, you have this tragedy that happened in an instance. I mean, that's got to be a heavy load.
Everything happens for a reason. I wouldn't be who I am without my brother and without that experience. I remember I gained like 30 pounds through the end of the month, or the end of the year, because that was October 10th. And then like I was out of work for like 2 weeks because like I had to set up the funeral. I had to go to the like county court and deal with like, you want to talk about like, I had no idea what happens to someone's bank account, assets, things like I learned all of that
in the motion of
because my mom was grieving to the point where she couldn't get up. She couldn't talk. That's her firstborn son. That is her child she had when she was a child at 18. Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Like you want to talk about shattering you. It's like, I thought my brother being 10 years older than me, every year would start January 30th. He would have been 48 this year. And so it was always like me looking at him at like 18, 28, 38, 48, what that version of a person is. Right. I just lived to the age that he was when he died at 37. And for 10 years, I'm like, I hope I make it. But like, make it. Like, I made it there, but I made my name. I made something out of myself because I remember being at the funeral. And I remember how everybody just, their sympathy for me and my mom and my sister and our family and everybody showing up. And, my cousin Kirk and a couple other people, they were like, so what are you doing now? And these are people we haven't seen. What are you doing now? And I remember telling Kirk, I'm like, Doesn't matter what I'm doing now. I'm like, after this experience, I'm like, you're going to see me. You're going to hear me. You're going to know me. I'm going to make sure everybody knows what I'm doing now. I'm about to blaze a trail off this. I'm about to turn this into motivation. And like when I say I gained 30 pounds, it's because I was just drinking, smoking, eating, grieving, feeling sorry for myself.
There's all depression at that time.
I remember one night my sister just crying on my chest. And I was like, listen, yo, I'm like, everybody's looking at us now, right? And everybody's going to judge how we react to losing someone who was like our father figure, someone who blazed the trail for us to go to college and get a job in the city and become something from nothing. And I'm like, so now, Taylor, what you do is even more important. Like, we can't let this break us. Yeah. We got to become. And shout out to my sister Taylor too, because she's amazing.
Yeah, shout out to her. I love her. She's awesome.
The Sparkle Queen, LA. She got more followers than me.
She don't play.
More motion than me. She took a one-way flight. Energy, she took a one-way flight to LA after that and said, "I'm out of here. I'm gonna make my life in Hollywood," and did it. And that's what I'm saying. You know, she'll tell you this. She wouldn't be who she was without that experience. It broke both of us, but it made us understand you live one time. Yeah. Life isn't promised. What do you want to be? What do you want to do with your life? And now you have a guardian angel, literally. You have your brother up there pulling strings, looking down for you guys. There's nobody he's more proud of. There's nobody he would want to, see succeed more than you two, who he took care of and spent his hard-earned money on and gave guidance to. And like, I know for a fact my brother's looking at both of us and he's like, that's my little brother. That's my little sister. I didn't have my dad around. They didn't have their dad around. I poured into them and look what they become.
Oh, man. Dude, you can't even like imagine. I mean, just listening to you on the radio, right? Or, doing your lives or whatever you're doing. But people just, it's like the Kobe reference, right? Like the 100 shots in the gym. Dude, the Keith McPherson, the man. I mean, brother, you've been through some stuff, man. And God bless you that you're here to talk about it. And the fact that you didn't let it break you. And you have a really strong sense of leadership in you. Like you have this tenacity of just never give up and make the best out of the worst. And I don't know if that's tapping in from what you learned from your brother, but God, man, I'm not even joking. Like you're inspiring me at this moment because I have senses of doubt sometimes. I sometimes look at myself and think I'm not good enough. And am I doing enough? Am I worthy? And hearing your story of, I have a sister, I have a brother. They're both here, thank God. But if that would happen to me, I don't know how I would react. So the fact that you're here strong, successful, thriving, and evolving through all the pain that you have been through, brother, listen, man, you are a testament of consistency and faith and just pushing through whenever life can really be at the lowest it could be, man.
Yeah, I always knew God wasn't going to put me through all of that for that to be that, right? Like, when I was young, my mom used to send us to Jacksonville, Florida to stay with my grandmother on my father's side, my dad's mom. Mm-hmm. My grandmother wanted a relationship with us, even though my parents went their separate ways. My dad got remarried and had a family of his own. My grandmother, wanted to be in our lives. So to help my mother out, a single mother, she would take my sister and I when we were really young. And my grandmother, Grandma Edith White, she's a God-fearing, church-going woman. So I spent a lot of time in the church in Jacksonville, 4 days a week, from Bible study to choir practice to prep for Sunday, and then Sunday and Sunday school, which starts at 7 a.m. and you're there all day.
Sheesh.
And I'm a complete fish out of water. I'm a kid from suburban Jersey Shore, Monmouth County, New Jersey, being dropped in the hood of Duval, Jacksonville, Florida.
Wow.
And I knew I needed God in my life then because I saw some crazy stuff down there with my cousins. They run like 200 deep down there.
Damn. A whole different world.
It is a whole different world. And so I remember learning the Lord's Prayer and the 23rd Psalm and, reading the Bible and asking my grandmother, hey, all the kids in my Sunday school are baptized. I think I'm 8 years old. I'm like, I'd like to get baptized while I'm down here this summer. And she loved that. And so I got baptized in the holy water in front of the whole church at 8. And you're supposed to be like reborn, a Christian, a new man. Yeah. And people have joked, who needs to become a new man at 8? felt like I needed to do it to fit in. And but
Right.
then I started to honestly like pray over my food, bless my food. I started to pray at night. I started to feel God's hand on my shoulder, and that has never left me.
Wow, man.
I started to feel God's presence in my life. So even in the darkest times, even when you feel like you're staring the devil in the eye, like you can't breathe, life feels terrible. You lose your brother, your mom can't get out of bed, your sister's crying on your chest. I'm going to sleep at night. I'm praying to God, and I'm like, I want to win. I want to come out of this. Let's do it.
And you did it, man. And you remind me of it's a Bible verse that I live by, and you said it perfectly. And I'm gonna butcher this, but my wife will beat me up later about it. Count the joy in every battle, because it is strengthening your heart and your mind to be stronger and handle what God has given to you. And I think you personify that.
Yeah. Now, you know what? We're all going to deal with death and loss. And you know what I said after that too? Like, because I used to duck funerals. You know, I had a friend in high school. His dad used to let us party in the backyard, party in the basement, do whatever we wanted to. And when he passed, all the friends went to the funeral, but I didn't go because I was like, I didn't want to see his body in the casket. I didn't, there were a couple other funerals that I passed on going to like friends' funerals when they lost their parents because I was afraid of how I would feel. And then when I had to stand in front of a funeral home with 200 people in it and speak on my brother's behalf, and people still to this day are like, yo, what you said at your brother's funeral, I'll never forget that. It was powerful. I blacked out.
You don't remember it. It's like an outer body experience.
I just know I spoke on our relationship, and it's just, I don't know. It changed me because I'm like, when people lose people in their life, you need to be there for them.
100%, man. Man, oh man, I mean, this is all resonating with me, Keith, because one of my good friends, his brother passed away yesterday, 39 years old, to cancer. My grandmother passed away about a month and a half ago, so this is all still fresh for me. So I don't know what it's like to lose a brother, man. But God, if there's one thing you're giving me right now, it's the strength to move forward, man, because you are doing it, bro.
Life goes on.
No,
that's the harsh truth, man. Too. Yeah, and his company just kept going, and they paid for the funeral. I remember looking into suing them, but like I couldn't do that on my own and work my job. And like I said, my mom was just like, it definitely changed my mom. It aged my mom. It made my mom. I can't imagine now that I have a son. I don't even want to speak on that. No. So we didn't look into like taking legal action against them. We just kind of like, they took care of the funeral. We let bygones be bygones, but it definitely taught me that too. I'm like, life goes on.
Yeah.
We're all guaranteed death, and we're all guaranteed to lose somebody in our life. And like, once you learn how to deal with that and process that, which I didn't, I was living life like, hey, we're all going to live forever. Once you deal with that and process that, I'm telling you, it put a different lens over my eyes. And so now I move with this tenacity and this leadership of like, I don't know when I'm going to go. And every day is not promised. I'm going to win today. I'm going to do more today. I'm going to do something today. And even if it isn't just for me, it's for my cousin Miles, who I brought, or last Saturday I did a content creator event for a bunch of up and coming content creators to share my light with them.
Bleaker, yeah.
Like, it changes your perspective. I would not be the person I am without what my brother did for me to age 27, and then what that experience of losing him suddenly did to my perspective, my mind, my just like vantage point. It made me go for it. It made for me say, F everybody and everything. God has a greater plan for me. I don't know it, but if I walk with that faith, I'm going to get to it, because there's no way I just went through that hell to not reap the benefits and the glory and the success that can come from living this life and being in New York City and having the skills and talents that God has blessed me with. I have to go for it.
Yeah, and true pain and true trauma and true, tragedy, it's going to bring out the best of you. In this case, it was the courage and the strength and the confidence to really go after what you want, knowing how precious and fragile life can really be. Because people, you know, anybody that, and it's funny because you walk around with so much light. And what I mean by that is like, you light up the room when you come into a place. You're always so positive. Your energy is always infectious. But damn, if people that are the lightest don't go through the darkest moments.
That's real.
Like, you've been through some of the darkest moments. We all have, right? And I think we use those moments in our lives, Keith, to really progress forward and to just be positive and know how blessed we truly are to live in our purpose and take advantage of the 24/7 that God gives us.
Yeah, everybody's going through something and has gone through something.
Yeah.
You know that phrase where they say, like, if we all put our problems on the table and saw what everybody else had, we take our own problems back. That's real too. You know, and I've learned that I've had a vantage point into somebody, you know, other people's situations and whatnot, where I'm like, you know, my story is a tough one and a sad one. But a lot of people have a sad story and nobody cares. Work harder.
Yeah. The world we live in is cruel and cold, man.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, it's cruel and cold. And you could become part of that if you don't have some type of faith or some type of stance in your life.
Yeah.
Like, you know, what's the word? What's the saying? If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. So you being a man of faith and believing in God and knowing that, you know, God has a bigger plan for you, I think that compass alone has gotten you into rooms you never thought you would get into.
Oh yeah,
because
of course.
You know, it's all ordained. It's all done. And the people with the most pain and the stuff they go through the heart, they get to the other side. And I think, you know, your brother now watching you from above and blessing not just you but your sister and your mother and really just like you're breathing through him. Like he's breathing through you, rather.
Yeah.
You know, and I see it. I mean, the growth that you have been through, man. Like it's I'm enamored by it.
He never got married. He didn't have any kids, and I always said, like, his legacy lives on through me.
You.
He loved New York to a fault. Where, like, New York, big city of dreams, but everything in New York ain't always what it seems. That's DJ AM.
Mm-hmm.
But like that's basically like, yo, there's another side to the city. They could pull
it's
you
dark.
down.
Yeah, it's dark.
If you start mixing in the wrong crowds and the nightlife scene and what goes on, that's like city that never sleeps. Like it, I know personally from my own experiences.
Yeah.
I can only imagine what some of the stuff my brother saw. My brother was running up there from the early 2000s all the way into for 15 years. And he lost his life to that party life, party culture, drinking, you know, messing around, and being in the city. But his legacy lives on through me because I can't tell you how many people have reached out and like, oh my God, I worked with your brother Sean. Or like, I'm wearing an Oris watch right now. I bought this one.
Oris is a good brand, by the way. Great brand.
Shout out to Josh at Oris. He worked with my brother. He's a big Yankee fan. He's listening to the radio one night. Keith McPherson on the fan.
He's like, whoa.
Keith McPherson. He's like, I worked with Sean McPherson, and I know the name Keith McPherson because my brother used to clip out my football newspaper. Keith McPherson scores game-winning touchdown. Keith McPherson 6 touchdowns, and have them up in his cubicle.
Nice.
So Josh puts 2 and 2 together and reaches out. He's like, oh my God. He's like, you're Sean's little brother. Like he sends me the first watch was similar to this one. It was like I think the one Aaron Boone was wearing with the blue. And then he gave me his discount to get this one. And then he sent me the Roberto Clemente one. It was just like, you know, and then they did like a sponsorship with me where it was like for the postseason games, I would read the Oris start time. And I'm like, look at this. Like that's like my God working with my brother and being like, yo, this guy has some power in a company. He's moved by the fact that he was friends with my brother, worked with my brother, connected, comes back around. I still get messages from people like, somebody was messaging me about, bro, I used to go to the same daycare or babysitter as your brother. Like, you know, I put out that thing. I can't tell you how many people are like, yo, your brother is proud of you. Like you are carrying on his legacy. And I say that because I didn't want to be in New York. I was Jersey Shore all day. Yeah. I'm good down here. I'm going to stay down here. Even when I graduated, you know, I used to look at him like, yo, what's so good about the city? You never come home. Mm-hmm. Some holidays he would skip. Like he was deep in that party life. He was deep into like, city there's always something going on in the city. You can always
It's 24/7.
Thanksgiving, if you want to party, you can
You
go
can
party
party,
on
yeah.
Thanksgiving night. Christmas night, you want to party, you could find a party on. And so like he was so deep in that, and he would come home and he'd have this itch. And even when we would go out to the bars in the Jersey Shore, he'd be like, nah, it's not it, bro. It's not cutting it.
He got hooked to the
And
New York
so
way,
he
yeah.
loved the city so much, he lost his life to the city. But I told a story, and it did numbers online, because I talked about like how proud my brother would be if he could jump into a cab and the cab driver was listening to 101.9 FM. And if he could play the little game, like, yo, you listen to this guy on the radio?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, KM to AM. Like, yeah, that's my brother, Keith. Like, how proud he would be.
Oh,
And,
man.
even how, like, I used to hate driving in the city. Now, the people in the city probably hate driving around me because I'm like, excuse me.
Yeah.
I'm like, if my brother saw what I've become in New York, and he has, I just can't physically share it with him.
Right.
But like, I'm carrying on his name and his legacy. And that's what I say. Honor your loved ones and speak of them in the afterlife. And I do this probably every year on his birthday, or when little things pop up, because I want people to hear Keith McPherson and know that Sean McPherson's little brother, I'm a product of having him in my life.
No, and you being a man of faith, he's there up there watching you, man. And you know that you're making him proud. You can't feel it, you can't see it. But man, I know for a fact he's smiling from up above, man. You have really come a long way from where you started to where you are. I mean, even me as like, just knowing you a couple years, and we don't speak on the regular, but when we speak, it's always like back to normal. We chop it up. Yo, what's going on? Blah, blah, blah. But for me, seeing your growth and evolution, you had me fanned out, and I'm your homie. Like, I was at Yankee Stadium sitting in my seat, and I tell my wife, yo, look, Keith is up there. And I turn around, and you're still not Hollywood. I text you. This was batting. This was right before the game started. I text you, yo, I'm right here in Legends, section 20, and you waved down to me from the booth. And man, I mean, damn, I felt so proud for you, man, because I know the grind and work that you put in, and that must have been like a 3-6. I mean, you're talking about your brother living in the New York life, and you're the voice right now for that game for the Yankees in New York City. That
A huge blessing.
bro, mic drop.
I don't call games. You know what I told people? I played college football. I couldn't ever call a college football game. Also, in the spring, I can't call the baseball games. I'm doing lifting and spring football and running, and like I didn't go to school to be a broadcaster, be a announcer, be a color guy. Like, I literally went to school thinking I was going to be a DJ and an on-air personality like that. So when the opportunity came up, I'll say this, love Susan Waldman. Like, I literally love Susan.
She's a sweetheart. I met her once. Sweetheart.
When Susan took her first break of the year, I think it might have been a Jewish holiday, or no, I think it was to get ready for the Yankees homecoming dinner. You know how they do the Yankees homecoming dinner?
Yeah.
Have you been invited
Never
to it?
no,
man, you should be invited to that.
All the money I paid those damn folks. Oh my, don't get me started, bro. Don't get me started. Oh my God.
You should be front row.
For real.
But so Susan hosts that dinner, and when she needed someone to fill in, my boss suggested me. I had never called any game before outside of Ocean Township Pop Warner football games.
Wow.
When I was 16 or 17. They would pay me $50 to call the Pee Wee and Junior Pee Wee games. So I go from that to 20 years later, welcome to Yankee Stadium as the Chicago White Sox are here to face your New York Yankees. Like, crazy. Like, the crazy part about that, bro, is like they knew they needed something. Right, because John had retired, and John retired suddenly. I remember not planning on going to. I'm like, John just, and like, hey, I learned from that. When you're done, you're done.
You're done. Yeah.
John said he was done.
He's out.
He was out. And I love John too. Love you, John. Look forward to seeing you whenever I can see you.
He came back for the playoffs though, right? Didn't he come back for the World Series?
Run me my money.
That's true.
Run me my money.
For real.
How much?
For real.
Give me an offer I cannot refuse. I'll come back for the stretch.
He came
and
through.
I love John because when we lost the World Series, I went back and listened. We lost the World Series the way we lost the World Series in Game 5.
Don't get me started.
John did not do any type of pomp and circumstance. This is John Sterling. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you, Yankee fans. He just called the game and left.
Wow.
Done.
Like a real OG. Yeah,
Real,
he's the OG of the
He is
OGs.
a gangster.
Yes.
But let me get back to what I was saying. They took a chance on me to fill in with Susan, And shout out to Justin Shackle, who was calling the game. And I was just supposed to be like, whoa. One, did I have respect for Susan? They are feeding you reads on flashcards.
Whoa.
First ball. This first ball of the game is brought to you by blah, 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 blah.
Right. Yeah,
and the producer's telling you in your head, 10 seconds, 5 seconds. Get the read done because we got to go to break.
Damn.
And then also like,
it's fast paced.
They're pitching, right? I remember Nestor Cortez pitched, Luis Guzman pitched. He had 14 strikeouts. I got to call that game. But it's like, I was in such a whirlwind because like you said, I'm not Hollywood. My ass has been in every seat in that stadium except that one. And they have a perfect view. And the craziest thing that happened to me, shout out to Tina, the queen of the bleachers, Mark, who leads the roll call, all the bleacher creatures, Section 203, Terra Squad, La Bodega family. Like, I love y'all. I bring everybody into the stadium. We start the game. They do the roll call. And then they chant, Keith McPherson.
Whoa.
Keith McPherson. Like, I've had a lot of practice, like, holding in tears, whether it's talking about my brother.
Yeah.
But that was a moment where I took because I'm a Yankee fan.
Yeah, you a fan like me. Yeah.
The last person to get their name chanted that wasn't a Yankee was John Sterling the month before.
That's right.
I moved my mic from my mouth and took my headset off. I looked at everybody. I'm like, I just got a roll call.
That's crazy, bro.
And Justin Shackle was like, well, that was unexpected. Like, Keith, how do you feel? I'm like, I know, I just showed love. And like, there's so many people that heard that. Like, my boy in Boston was watching the game on MLB.tv. He texted me. He was in the MLB fan cave with me, and he's like, bro, you're something else. Like, what have you turned into? I was like, I'm watching a game, and I hear Keith McPherson chanted in the roll call. And I'm like, I don't know why they did that. Like, and then, they thought it would be something nice because that is basically them saying, one of us, one of us,
exactly.
One of us.
Yep.
And Michael K texted me. He's like, from the bleachers to the booth, this is a movie.
Yeah. Seriously, bro. Like, I don't think that's ever happened. That's unprecedented.
I am the only one, and maybe the only one ever, that has started the roll call, hey, yo, yelling out to whoever's in center field. I can't remember. I think Aaron Judge was in center field. Hey, yo, Aaron Judge. I am the only human being that has ever led the roll call and also had the bleacher creatures chant their name in the roll call.
Damn.
I might be the only one ever.
And call the game that was in the, you know what I mean? I don't think no one's ever going to win that.
Call the game, and then the next series, go sit back in the bleacher.
Yo, it's bugged out because you bleacher creature to the booth. The game I went to, Soto had a day.
Yeah,
I think
he had two homers.
2 homers. And you were right there.
Trevino homer.
My wife's like, yo, you fan? I'm sending you pictures. Hey, yo, send me all the pictures you got. And I remember you posted one of the pictures on Instagram that I sent you, but you're like in the tunnel with Juan Soto interviewing him. I'm
forgot.
like, sheesh.
So that was another thing too. It blew my mind.
That had to be crazy,
I had to do Susan's star of the game. And so
you had to run downstairs.
I had never been through the bowels of Yankee Stadium where like I come down the elevator from the press all the way down to where like now I'm seeing where the players eat. I see the visiting dugout. They bring me through the visiting dugout to the steps.
I always smell like cigar over there. I did that one time by the visiting dugout.
Somebody's smoking something. Players probably smoking in the clubhouse or his coaches or whoever. But I remember looking up and seeing the lights above right field. I'd never seen that from that vantage point. I had been out for photo day out in center field.
Yeah.
When they do open house, they let you on the field. But I'd never been in that vantage point. Like I'm down in the dugout and I could see the stadium and I literally like.
It's weird, right?
It's like,
it's like what the hell is
I'm in a shirt and I'm in a tie. Last out ends. Bam, bam, bam. They're like, Keith, go. And I'm like,
huh?
I'm running. I'm like, I'm not running on the foul line in the dirt, but I'm in awe. I'm looking at it. I'm like, I'm on the field like this. Like, I'm part of this. I remember Jason Zillow is the head of PR. He's like, come on. He's like, who do you want? I'm like,
give me Soto.
Luckily, I did an event with Jose Trevino, and he had homered as well. So I was like, give me Trevino. And so I have that picture of me interviewing Trevino. And then after I do that, they're like, come on, come down. And I walk down through the dugout. I had never been in the dugout. And now I'm in this area, I see that where the Yankees, there's weights, there's the batting cages, and then it's the clubhouse. And I had never, I am trying not to be fanboy,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I can't not be because I'm like, boy, did I build a skeleton key now?
Yeah.
I'm like, how am I physically out here? And then who was the last person to come in as I was waiting? It was Soto because he did the interview with Meredith. And
That's
Soto,
right, yeah.
So I'm doing my own videos for my own memories, and then next thing you know, I'm like, Soto. So I kept it running. I'm like, Juan, what's good, bro? And I just give him a dap.
Yeah,
He's
you
like,
dap. That's what. Yep.
Yeah, and then after that, El Duque was down there.
Oh, that's right. He threw out the first pitch.
Yeah, and it was crazy
pitch.
because he had the rookie record for strikeouts, and Luis Gil broke the record that
That's
day.
Right. That game
You want to talk about
wild,
universe never unconnects?
dude.
The fact that I got to call all that craziness in that game, and I had a bet, and like I don't care now.
Yeah,
you're not supposed to bet when you're an announcer, but I had a bet for Jose Trevino and Juan Soto to homer that I cashed for like $500, $600 too. 'Cause I don't know, I'm throwing in bets like I'm still a fan. That was a hell of a day. I remember that's where the first time I got to lay eyes on the clubhouse. The Yankees clubhouse is immaculate. It's nice.
Level.
And I remember they cut on the like club lights, and the first song they used to play was Kendrick Lamar, like that. And they closed the door, and I was just outside the clubhouse looking like, wow, this is cool. Oh my God. I'm like, what? I'm like, I don't even know how to get out of here now.
Yo, and you just chilled there?
I chilled there for a couple minutes, and then somebody walked me through and back.
Hey, you gotta get out of here.
Yeah, because they like once they started doing their post game partying and like turning it into Club 161, they closed the doors, and somebody walked me through. But I was in a whirlwind. My mind was spinning. I'm like, look at God, like how blessed am I? I don't need to ever do that again.
No, it's a bucket list thing. You check it off, and that's it.
Yeah, I don't need to ever do that again.
No,
I'm not trying to be the next. You know how many people after that? I mean, obviously there were the haters. Oh, if you guys thought Susan was bad, this guy's worse. And that's why I told you I appreciate Susan, because Susan does that shit
every day,
and she doesn't miss.
No, because they're like robots. They're trained. They're just like muscle memory. It's not.
She doesn't miss. She hits all of the read. Like, it's a Vision Zero initiative,
powered by Ford.
Yeah, this is driven by Jeep. Yeah. They don't miss. Me, I'm like, hey fans, make sure you go down to the team store. There's the New Era's in the team store. New Era's got hats. Yeah.
Stumbling over the words and shit.
Because I'm still tripping off of like, I remember I said something stupid and I was beating myself up about it because like I was looking at the monitor. Two things I said stupid, and I don't care now. It's funny because I can laugh at it. Yeah. But I'm just like, I'm watching the game on Yes, like I always do. I'm watching the game out here. I have the headset on. I hear Justin Shackle. The first thing was like Garrett Cole was like messing with Luis Gil, and I was like, Luis Gil just, had 14 strikeouts or whatever it was. I'm like, I wonder if Garrett Cole has ever done that. And Justin had already given the stat, and like the producers already fed that. So he's like, Keith, I just said that. And I'm like, oh, my bad. I'm like, but it was a funny, real moment. I'm like, I'm looking at the Yes Network screen of Garrett Cole and Luis Gil chopping it up. My bad. I'm sorry. I missed that. I got to lock in. Then the other thing I said, I think in the first game was, I think somebody made a joke about Sparky Lyle. Uh-huh. And so I'm watching the Yes game and I have the subtitles up. And I have my roster and I'm trying to see who's getting up in the bullpen. And I'm like, I don't know who's getting up in the bullpen. I'm like, on the screen it says Sparky Lyle. And Justin's like, the old-time manager player? Like, Sparky Lyle's not here? I'm like, I don't know who that guy is in the bullpen. It's not Sparky Lyle, but that's what it said on the screen. But whatever. It's
dope.
It was fun. Yeah. Shout out to Susan. Shout out to Lontrose. Shout out to Ryan Hurley, Chris Olivero at WFAN. Those guys wanted to do something different. And I literally got to be the first one to go. And then everybody else was like, hey, what about me? Then Craig Carton got an opportunity. Brandon Tierney, Brendan Burke, who calls the Islanders games. Ricky Ricardo did a bunch of games where he's excellent. He's awesome. He does this, Yankees baseball Espanol broadcast. Yeah. And yeah, it was fun to get that opportunity. It was fun. It's a moment that I'll never forget. But like that is just like a full circle thing that nobody can ever take away from me. I've sat in every section of that stadium. I got to call 2 games, and Meredith called the 3rd game because I had a Q&A with Willie Randolph that I booked at Baseline Social down the street. I couldn't do the full series.
You couldn't do the full series.
They didn't care.
Dude.
I was like, I don't have to do it. I was like, I have a prior engagement, a contract signed, whatever. They're like, no, we want you to do this, And you know how crazy it was to do the Friday night game and then turn around and do Saturday,
1
I didn't
o'clock.
sleep. I didn't sleep
Dude, I would have
between.
been bugged out. I would have been
I didn't
bugged
sleep
out.
between. I just was staring at the ceiling like, what have I become?
Yeah, no, dude. It's,
What am I doing?
Dude,
Like,
it's-
how do I get to this level? And there were people that were hating. I remember
you had haters?
I have a ton.
Come on.
I have a
what the-
legion. And come along with me. Continue.
Yo, but
Continue.
bro, you're like one of us. Like,
yeah,
you
but
are,
see, the real ones get it. The real
You know
ones
what I'm
get
saying?
it.
Like-
the goofies don't. The lames don't. And like even some of these people in the industry, I forget what writer it was, and I'm not gonna throw him under the bus, but he said like, interesting pick. The Yankees tab a super fan to fill in for Susan
Oh,
Waldman.
my God. Is it-
And I'm like, I'm not a super fan, bro. But if you want to call me a super fan and like try to act like I don't have the credentials, like I haven't been rocking the radio every night, like I didn't go to school for communication, radio, and television, like I can't like sit in and do this, that's fine.
That's corny, though, because at the end of the day, wouldn't you want people in the microphone and in the booth to be passionate about what they're doing and actually know? Like, you know, you have that. Why not, instead of hating on it, just like, let's buy into it. Let's support Keith.
Because people don't like change, they don't like different things. And I think it was a writer who was like a diehard baseball fan.
Is it the
wished
writer you got into beef with?
No, that was Heyman.
Heyman. Oh, man, he gets riled up.
Bro, I can't think of his dude's name, and I don't even want to give him.
Nah, you don't have to.
I don't.
Screw
But
him.
like, and him and I ended up, patching it up, whatever. But
Yeah.
when he wrote that, I think I replied on Twitter with just like a gif of Superman flying through the air. Like, yeah, I like Superman. No, you meant, or Superfan. No, you meant Superman. People don't like change. They don't like people trying things that are different. And it's easier to hate. It's easier for them to count you out than count you in. Like, instead of them saying this is great, he's gonna crush it. This is a guy that young Yankee fans like, right? This is a guy that for 2 years did a free segment on the Yankees pregame show called "Tell Me Something Cool."
Tell me something cool. Yes, you did it with the OG. What's
With
his
John
name?
Sterling.
Yeah, John Sterling, yeah.
John, and like, you know what? And shout out to John. I went to spring training in 2022, and I got to sit in with John and Susan. I'll always remember that because as soon as I get on the headset, that is blowing my mind. I've been to spring training before, but now I'm looking at the spring training field, got John to my left, Susan to my right, and I go, oh my, I'm like, this is amazing. I'm like, this is so crazy for me. I'm like, I used to listen to you guys when I was doing Lyft, Uber. I'm like, I remember you guys calling Tanaka had a complete game against the Red Sox. I drove Uber that whole night listening to you guys. And John said something like, well, this is spring training. It's not that much of a thrill. Like, John,
It's
think
not
about
a lot, you know?
think
He's
about how
just
many
so cool,
years,
man.
Think about how many years, John.
50 years?
At that point, John and Susan, they weren't beat for the whole spring training at that point. So like me coming in, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, wide-eyed, and I cracked up at the fact that he's like, it's not that much of a thrill. And so him and I hit it off.
Oh, man.
And my program director at the time, Spike Eskin, was like, we need to come up with a segment that can include you. Like, John and Susan want you to be a part of the Yankee pregame show.
Mm-hmm.
And so I came up with Tell Me Something Cool, where, John would throw to me as fanalist, right? Because I was a fan analyst.
Dope.
Fanalist, Keith McPherson. Hey, Keith, tell me something cool. Hey, John, I was scrolling through Instagram today and I saw Nestor Cortez posted this and this and this of himself. The Yankees have this going on. Back to you. Like, it was just a 1 minute segment every day.
Yeah.
That definitely helped me grow in the Yankee fan base, kept my voice there, and definitely grew my relationship with John and Susan. And it was cool. It was great. Something like I have that audio forever.
Dude, yeah, that's like, for me as a fan, like a diehard Yankee fan, and knowing how you are with the Yankees, I mean, chef's kiss. That's one of those moments, man. Like, whoa. And I love baseball. I don't even think I have like the attention span to watch 3 hours and not be on my phone or like miss a pitch. Like, it's next level. You gotta be, strike one on the outside, 60-mile curveball, and now it counts 2-1. All right. Like,
and you know what's tough about the color to the game? Like, Shackle is calling to like, okay, ball one high inside. And then you got to add in between. You got to fill the blanks.
You gotta
and
fill
then
in the color, yeah.
with the pitch clock now.
oh, it's more fast. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta stay out of the way of the pitch clock.
Mm-hmm.
And I called a game with Nestor Cortez. Sometimes Nestor's fast pitching them, where you don't want to step on that either. It's like you might start talking about, like, I remember like Tommy Pham I was familiar with, so I was talking about Tommy Pham's journey, and then you got to just do, and here comes the pitch, ball two, low outside, Keith. Oh yeah. So anyway, Tommy Pham from Vegas, and hey, Tommy Pham is a fantasy football fiend. He's really about his fantasy football. He smacked Jock Peterson over fantasy football. And the pitch, like it's quick like that. You got to stay on your toes.
You got to stay on your toes, and the attention has to be on point, 100%. But you killed it, bro. You killed it, and then after that, I mean, we could talk about it now. As I know this happened a couple weeks ago, or maybe a month or so. You broke the damn internet by making that speech like, "Yo, I'm out," but you're not out. Can you explain that? How that whole video? Because some people like they want to just like let people say it for them. I love the fact that you created your own narrative. Like you let your own narrative be. Yeah, and it went crazy on social media,
viral. I don't think I've ever posted anything that has reached that many people. 7.5 million on Twitter. Another 80,000 on Instagram, probably another 10,000 on TikTok, another like 5,000 on
over a
YouTube,
million.
And it was a million. It was a million fast. By the next day, I woke up, it was 2 million. I'm like, this means something. I remember doing it. I'm like, what does this mean? Now I know what it means,
right?
Because now it's been over 2 months, and in the last 2 months, people have come from every sector of the media, New York City, my life, different people that I've forgotten about to be like, hey, are you good? What are you working on?
Yeah.
Are you done?
I hit you up too.
So what I'll say is because I'm a child of the internet, because I'm a former social media manager, because I do read the comments and I read everything, I knew that I needed to control my own narrative. I knew that I needed to put this out and let people see my face, hear my voice. And I said in the video, you're hearing it right from the horse's mouth, the host's mouth. And I did it in like a playful way, but in a sincere way. What I'll tell you is this. I knew I was done after the World Series. There was a night where it was Monday Night Football, Knicks playing, I think Rangers playing, I think, I don't know which game of the World Series it was. It might have been like game 4 or 5. And so I'm the first guy on in New York City to talk about all of these things. And that's not a night that you can miss. That morning, I had been up at like 6, 7 a.m. because my son was sick. And he had a little bit of a cough, but I didn't know how sick he would be. He goes to school at 8:30, and by 10 o'clock, they're saying, hey, you got to come get him. My wife is at work. I have to go get him. And I go get him. And his spirit, he's a kid, he's a baby, he's 2 years old. His spirits are up because, daddy. He gets to come home and watch TV and play with daddy. And so I give him the little like Highlands baby mucus cough medicine. And I give him some Tylenol to keep his fever down. And he naps. And I think he's all right. I don't think like I got to take him to the doctor or anything. And I'm keeping my wife updated. And I'm, you can't book appointments the day of for these kids anyway. They're all booked.
They're all booked.
Like all these kids are sick. So my wife comes home and it's a Monday and she's got to work late and she gets home closer to like 7 and it's a quick rush of like feed him, bathe him, put him to bed. We put him to bed and by like 8 o'clock, my wife is like, I don't think he sounds right. He's not breathing right. Yeah. Like Keith, like listen to how he sounds in the baby monitor. That's not how he sounds every night. He's congested, he's coughing and like now my wife is getting a little worried. And she's like, I'm going to take him to the hospital. We couldn't book a doctor's appointment, but what they suggested was if you don't feel comfortable, whatever, the best advice is to go to the hospital. Not for nothing, I'm black. We don't call the police. We don't go to the hospital.
I'm the same way.
For
it's
like
true. I got that broken leg to go to the hospital.
Nah. Do not call 911.
Don't get the police involved.
Do not drive to the hospital for anything.
100%.
And so I already have that in me. But my wife is worried and she's saying she's not going to sleep. So I'm like, you're really going to take him to the hospital? I'm like, it's like 8:39 and I have to head to work at like 10. It's too late to call out. And I had a decision to make. I'm like, okay, you take the car, I'll take the train. I left. I got on the last train that I could get. I remember getting to the station with like 15 minutes to spare before I went on that night after Monday Night Football ended. And I got to do my whole open on everything that happened in the world of sports.
You got to be informed on what happened.
Yeah,
with the
you got to know what happened in the World Series game.
Yeah.
I think the Commanders played in Monday Night Football. The Knicks played. The Rangers played. It was a full sports equinox in late October. And the whole time I'm putting on this facade to be this on-air personality. But during the break, I'm texting my wife, how is he? What's the deal? So we're waiting. But long story short story long. They don't get out of the hospital till like 11:30 midnight, and they go home and he's fine.
Okay,
they don't even give him anything. They like X-ray him, whatever. They give us a bill, but then I don't get home that night until 3:45 in the morning because I get done at 2. The trains are delayed. The trains are delayed. I get on a train by 3. Walk home. By the time I get home, it's 3:45. I had been up from 7 a.m. to 3:45 a.m. and I'm like, this is not the way to live. This is not how I want to go about things. I don't want to be worried about my son's health. I don't want to be working late at night. I don't want to be on the train late at night. I don't want to have to be up for almost 24 hours.
KM to the AM, MPM. Jesus.
It was an all-day marathon.
Yeah.
I'm not at my best on air. I'm not at my sharpest on air. I'm not in the right headspace. I'm like, something's got to give. So, I talked to my wife after that, and not for nothing, that was a hard conversation with me and my wife because, the baby comes first, not your job. And like, if she wants to go to the hospital, she has a right to take him to the hospital as a mother. I can't really push back against that, but I was mad because I'm like, yo, you went against my decision, and then you put me in a tough spot. And then I realized, I'm like, no, there's no tough spot. It's the kid first. It's your marriage first.
Yeah.
Right? Anybody could have possibly done that, whatever. So I basically tell my agent, I'm like, this is putting too much of a strain on us. When I'm on at 7 p.m., they come home from the city, or she comes home from the city. He comes home from daycare at like 6:30. And a lot of times I'm not there because depending on traffic, it could be like a 35-minute ride in. I got to leave at 5:30. So I don't even see my wife and son at night.
You don't have that quality of life.
And then I'm not seeing them in the morning on nights that I come in the house at 2:30 usually because they're getting up at 7. And my wife, God bless her, she's trying to keep him quiet. She's trying to feed him, get him dressed, get him out the door because daddy's sleeping. Let daddy sleep. Daddy didn't go to bed till 4 a.m. It's 7. We can't wake daddy up. And he's a 2-year-old. He's starting to get bigger. He's starting to be able to walk and talk and come in. Daddy, wake up.
Yeah, he's got his little personality now.
I'm like, I'm dragging ass. I'm like, then I hear him crying. Why daddy can't get up? Daddy, fighting my wife. My wife can't get his shoes on. And there was another day where I get up to try to help and they're almost out the door and I'm trying to get his shoes on and he's fighting me with his shoe and he kicks his shoe off at me and I take the shoe and I spike it and I'm like, I'm going back to bed.
Wow.
And my wife's like, what's wrong with you? Then he starts crying. I'm like,
it's hard.
Your REM sleep is being interrupted. I'm 3 hours into sleeping and I'm carrying that weight of like not sleeping right, having to perform, having to be this on-air personality, thinking like I have my own show. I work so hard for this. I'm killing it. I got to do this. And then it all just clicked for me that like I wasn't living right.
No, your mental health was deteriorating.
My wife and my son never said I was killing it on air. They never once said good show last night. And then I started to think like, am I getting too consumed into this radio station and this radio gig where I'm not being a good husband and a good father? Could I be a better husband, a better father? Yes. My wife needs help in the morning with my son. She didn't sign up for, being a single mother. And my son is getting big now where my wife is small. She can't wrestle him when he's crying because, oh, daddy left. And then I'm cutting it close sometimes because I want to see them in that 6 to 7 hour. But that mic goes on at 7 where there were times I'm walking into the building after fighting through traffic, finding a parking spot. I'm walking in, figuring it out. I'm walking in at 6:50 and I got to do a 20-minute open and I'm not in the right headspace.
Yeah. And that monologue in the beginning is the most important part. That's the hook.
Right.
Yeah.
You want to listen to the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. You got to evoke some emotion. You got to have some talking points, some takes that make people say, I'm going to stick with you through this break. Matter of fact, I'm going to call.
Yeah.
And I always had calls and I always had people through the night. But like, it's tough it's tough to turn that on and turn the family life stuff off when I'm thinking about, man, I just walked down the hallway of my apartment and I heard my son, daddy, come back, daddy.
It's not easy, man.
So something had to give.
Yeah.
And I had a hard talk with my wife and God bless her because she was with it too. And I had a long look in the mirror where I was like, it's time. I've ran my course. So it was 4 years. Yeah. My first show was November 23rd, but my contract started November 22nd. My last show was Friday, November 21st into November 22nd. And when I signed off, I said something along the lines of like, see you when I see you. And that Sunday I'm watching football and I never read Reddit because Reddit is full of scumbags, anonymous losers that like they're in the cesspool. That's where they live. They know they can go on there.
They're haters.
But my wife is like, oh, people are on to you. Like they know that, because you signed off, you said whatever you said, and you're not on the schedule next week. People are starting to put 2 and 2 together that they're saying you were fired. They're saying you were let go. And so I'm like, okay.
Watch this.
Yep. Monday came and I'm done. And my bosses had known I was done. But my bosses didn't want me to say anything. I didn't say anything on air for 2 weeks. They wanted me to lay low on social media. And I had this thought. I'm like, if I'm off air for this week and I'm not tweeting and I'm not posting,
it looks like a thing. Yeah.
That's
You
weird.
never put two and two together. Yeah.
Yeah. So I take my son to daycare, which I love in the morning. That is daddy son time in the morning. When I start my subscription-based content, is going to be showing people fatherhood in the morning, me getting him out of the bed, getting him dressed, doing his hair, feeding him, putting him in the crib, and off we go. So I take him to daycare. I already sent my wife off, and I get back home, and it's like 8:45, and I'm like, I feel weird. Like I can't start the day because I'm like, I'm done. Like I don't need to go back to sleep. I don't need to start putting notes together. I'm like, now I've done it. I'm done. And so I sat in my little studio and I still had my vest on. That video went viral. I had my vest and my hoodie on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I gotta put this out to the world before somebody hijacks my story, before somebody starts a thread on Twitter and says that I was fired. Because people have done that before.
Yeah.
I went on vacation and I learned from that. I went on vacation the year before in November. And because I went on vacation and wanted to be present with my wife and son because they never got that much time with me morning and night, I would turn my phone off. Turn my phone into a block, turn it off, leave it in the room, leave it in a bag.
Nice.
And
do that.
It's healthy to do that, but people started speculating, oh, Keith's not on the schedule. He's not tweeting on social media. He got fired. People are scumbags. They're rooting for a man with a young child to be fired. They're rooting for a young guy in the industry like me to be fired. For what? Because you're a hater, because you'll never get that opportunity. But I learned from that. 2 writers reached out to me while I was in Mexico at a resort. Hey, we just want a word on like where you let go. And I'm like, what? My boss even let them know Keith is on vacation. He's not fired. There's no reason for him to be fired. I'm like, what? So I learned that the next year, it's November now, I learned. I went on vacation to Key Largo because we always take a vacation once baseball ends. Assuming that the Yankees one day will win the World Series and have a parade. We don't go on vacation until, like November 5th.
I'm the same, yeah. And now with the same team next year. Anyway.
But this time I let everybody know I'm going on vacation, but I didn't let everybody know that I'm done. My agent let WFAN know I was done, but I could tell people were like, there are just people that root for negativity and you to fail. And so I could not get it out of my head. I was like, I'm done. I'm not about to lay low. I'm not on air tonight. And I want to talk about sports, right? I want to talk about, like, it was at that time, it was like Hal Steinbrenner was the payroll. I think Brandon Nimmo got traded that day or the day before. There was stuff to talk about with the Jets and the Giants. And I was like, I want to be able to speak on my platforms. And I knew I'm going to start pouring into my platforms more. Today is day 1 for real. I got on and I looked straight in the camera and I said, hey, breaking news. Nobody's going to break my news. Nobody's going to hijack my story. I'm officially done as the full-time nighttime host at WFAN. It's my decision. It's a personal decision. It's necessary for my family and our schedule. I just saw my wife go to work. I just took my son to school. I'm stepping down. I'm not quitting. I'm still going to host some shows. My contract's not up. I'll be part-time and do some fill-ins. But you're hearing it from the horse's mouth, the host's mouth. I am no longer the full-time nighttime host at WFAN. I'll go live later to explain more. We'll talk about Hal Steinbrenner. We'll talk about Brandon Nimmo. We'll talk about the Jets and Giants. I'll talk soon.
Yeah, that was verbatim. And did you memorize that? That's exactly how it came off in the video.
No, but it was like,
it was so.
But that might have, if you put this side by side.
I remember seeing the video. It was just like that.
It was pretty much exactly that. No script, just me telling the truth. And I might have blinked twice.
Yeah.
Did I know? I'm very calculated, and I strategically put it out that morning, and I did it while Boomer and Gio were on air, which they have a national show. I did it at like 9:30, so I knew that news would hit their show.
Yeah.
They would tell everybody that watches nationally. Everybody would hear it. I just wanted to get in front of it. And did I know it would catch like it did? Hell no.
No,
I thought it would get a couple thousand. I thought it would get out there, and people would be like, oh, good for you. Take care of your family. But like what I learned is like this is WFAN. It's a massive platform. There is a cadence to the way these things have gone over time. People usually step down and announce it on air, or they're fired and they don't get the opportunity.
Yeah.
Like Chris Russo never got the opportunity. He was just done. Steve Summers did his final schmooze.
Yeah.
But hey, new wave, new generation, baby. Well, I have my own platform with thousands of followers. I put it out on every single platform. And I'm glad I did, because I think they wanted to slow play my announcement, right? Because there was a plan of like, oh, just stay quiet. We'll have you do it on air. But then a week later, it leaked that Craig Carton was coming back and they were making changes with the station.
Yeah, Salicata's out.
BT and Sal's show would end and Chris McMonagle would go from the overnight and join Craig and then Evan and Tiki would go to the midday. And now my phone starts blowing up. People are like, did you know this was coming? Did you see the writing on the wall? What's going on? Blah, blah, blah. What's going on at WFAN? And I'm like, wow. I'm like, what if they slow played my announcement for another week after Craig's stuff leaked? Then it would have looked like Craig came back and I got fired. Then it would have looked like Craig came back and maybe I was mad that I didn't get to, which is stupid.
That was the play.
Maybe it would have looked like I'm leaving because I am furious that I didn't get the spot with Craig. I was never getting that spot with Craig. I never worked with Craig.
Yeah.
And congrats to Big Mac. Big Mac produced his show. They have a rapport. Big Mac has worked at the station for 18 years. That's like
18 years.
Yeah,
he was like, overnight too. He was after you.
He's a grinder. He's done everything in there from interning, board opping, producing, being a nighttime overnight host, whatever. I never thought I was getting that position with Craig. I had no knowledge of Craig coming back. When he was coming back, we knew it was inevitable. I didn't know the date. This was a family decision. This was my wife and I saying, we can't do this anymore. For 2.5 years with a newborn baby growing to being 2.5 years old, we sacrifice days and nights with me not being there. I pray, right? I told you I'm a God-fearing man. My son, part of his bedtime routine every night, Daddy, can you pray for me? Can you say a daddy prayer?
That's so cool.
And it would hurt me on nights that I couldn't be there to pray for him. And some nights the nanny would be there or his grandmother would be there and they come back like, he's so cute. He said, can I do a daddy prayer? And so that is my priority. That is the number one thing I have going in my life. And I realized I ran my race at night. I don't want to work anywhere at night. And I know WFAN is powerful and almighty, and that microphone has blessed me because I've been able to put my story and my voice into it, and it has reached a ton of people. But I knew that I had ran my course at night. I'm thankful that they still have had me pop back in to do some fill-in spots because I realized something that I didn't realize. As much as I was struggling and as much as I was putting my family second, I was being there for people that needed me anonymously, quietly, that never called, that never reached out.
Yeah.
I was their companion at night for 4 years. And the last thing I say before I kick it back to you, I spent Thanksgiving Eve going through DMs and emails from fans.
Wow.
Probably 100 of them.
Wow.
And the one that stuck out the most, and there were some emotional ones.
Yeah.
But there was a young lady, she sent me a disappearing message on Instagram. She said that her mother was dying and the family had to take shifts watching her in the house. She was hooked up to machines in the house. They knew she was dying, but around the clock, people had to, care for her and watch her. And she had the night shift. And she took the night shift knowing that Monday through Friday, she could listen to my show in her ears. So she's like, you don't know what you mean to me. And you don't know even more now. I lost my mother. And through that traumatic experience of losing her, I listened to your show. Wow. And I lost her listening to your show. So when I lost my mom and then I lost you on air,
it was painful for her to go through that because you became part of their life, their system, their routine, your voice.
You don't know what you meant to me.
Yeah.
Your show would start and you would make me laugh when I couldn't laugh. Your show would start and you would educate me about sports and what went on. Your show would start and you'd tell a story about your life and it's theater of the mind, right? And so now I'm not in this room with my dying mother grieving off that. I'm down the Jersey Shore listening to Keith talk about something that he did 20 years ago. So she just wanted to wish me well and share that with me. And I'm it's Thanksgiving Eve and I'm tearing up in my little office wow, you don't know what you mean to people. The radio is so intimate that people are listening to you in their headphones at night. You're in their subconscious. You're in their brains. My voice is in their head. I am their friend, their companion. Shout out to Sam from Monmouth County. I just reshared his call. It made me choke up on air because I shared my story about losing my brother and what my brother meant to me. Sam from Monmouth County called and he said, Keith, I'm sorry. I should have told you this sooner. I had Eitan Levine on who battled cancer and beat cancer and he got treatment at Memorial Sloan Kettering. So Sam from Monmouth County said that his brother died from cancer, his brother that he grew up with, shared a room with, did everything with. And he would drive from Monmouth County up to the city to Memorial Sloan Kettering. And he said the only way he could get the strength or the want to go visit his brother was knowing that tonight there's a 5-hour KM to AM on. So I can get in the car at 7, drive up there, visit my brother for an hour or two, and then drive back down and the show would still be on. And he's like, Keith, you were like my companion in the car, knowing that like you went through the death of your brother and I was losing mine. And then like knowing what your show like would do to take my mind off of that grieving process. I'm just like, wow. And that is God. That's God working, right? Yeah. I lose my brother and I'm able to share that on the radio. Someone else is losing their mom and their brother, and I am a vessel. I am God working through me to give these people a little bit of a break, a little bit of a relief, a little bit of just like humor and storytelling and, you know, sports and entertainment, some levity in a tough situation.
I mean, at the end of the day, you're basically just using God's gift that he blessed you with, and you're affecting people's lives. And I say this all the time on the podcast, the Bob Marley quote, in life, a man is not measured by how much money he's made, but all the lives that he's affected and changed. And that's something that, you know, you are truly living in your purpose and using the gift God gave you to give people that sense of relief, that sense of peace, that sense of turn off all the noise that's going on in my life and just listen to a guy talk about sports or what he's going through in his life. Michael K says it best on the radio. You know, we're the candy shop. We're here to like, you know, take your mind away for a couple hours of what's going on in your life. And you provided that, and you're so into it, right? Like you're dialed into your craft, into your work, and you're honing it every day. You don't sit and think, wow, there's someone out there that depends on my voice to get them through the day. It's a real thing.
And you shouldn't. I'm in there at night. There's 2 people in the building. And I was always taught to do the radio like you're speaking to someone directly. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I just thought of another story of a guy, and I posted this on Instagram, and I blurred his name out, but this is a guy that is older than me, and he's got 3 little boys, but they're grown. They're not babies. They're like teenagers. And he was, you know, in a tough time, down on his luck and money. And he said he got in the car and he was about to go take his own life.
Oh my God.
And his radio is programmed on WFAN that night. And he just happened to hear me talk about my wife and my son and how I'm living for my son and the joy that my son brings for me and how I can't wait to see him grow up. And he's only 1 or 2 now, but like, and he said it stopped him dead in his tracks. Wow. It made him think differently about what he was going to do. He's like, I don't know how to like repay you for that. But like, what are the chances? I still have the message. Like I said, I posted on Instagram.
Yeah.
And I posted on Instagram and I blurred his name out or whatever. But I posted on Instagram because like for the people that are haters about, you know, whatever with me, they're whatever. There's a bunch of crabs and losers. But I'm like, okay, you're hating on a guy that is literally saving lives. You're hating on someone that like someone is reaching out telling you like you stopped me from doing something terrible. So I don't care if you don't like me for trolling the Mets, or if you think I talk too much about my college football days or myself, or you think I'm pompous or arrogant, whatever. You better be. If you think you're going to survive in New York, you better be confident and maybe to borderline cocky and arrogant to survive out here.
Absolutely.
But like, if you actually take the substance out of my show, there are things that I put on that airway that are so substantial and real and authentic. They've helped people. I'm not a shock jock. I'm not going in there with a shtick. I'm not going in there pretending to be someone that I'm not. I'm going in there and I'm pouring my real life and soul and passion into it. And that mic is powerful. It has hit some people right in their hearts. And that is the work of God. That is God working.
No, and it's showing every day. And the fact that you can, like I told you before, take that gift and affect that change so deeply with people that really need it. Like you're like a freaking pastor. If you think about it, you're changing people's lives without even knowing it. Just by you talking about the Yankees losing to the Dodgers or whatever the case is, right? But it's also like, God, man, I'm trying to put it into words. Like there's the fact that we all got problems, right? We all are human beings that go through stuff, and you talk about the haters on Reddit, but the reason they suck is because they're afraid to really face their demons and their insecurities and step up for something they believe in.
Yeah.
You're a friendly reminder that they suck. So the only way they can feel better is if they just try to tear you down.
Yeah, they're projecting.
Yeah, they're projecting.
And they're hiding.
Yeah.
They're throwing stones and
they're-
hiding their hands.
It's like a picture of a cat
And-
with like 2 followers. You know what I'm
Always.
saying?
And I'm always like, your cat deserves better. Your dog deserves better. How dare you talk about me like this and hide behind your cat or dog that wouldn't do that. But yeah, they're projecting. They're losers, and they don't stop anything. I just was looking at a post I retweeted. Shaq was like, don't let a nobody control a somebody. And then even when I'm at my content creator event, I said, those that are hating are not creating. Those that are creating need to be collaborating, because we know how hard it is to build something. You have a YouTube plaque in here with 100,000 subscribers. WFAN just hit 100,000 subscribers. I was on last Friday.
I saw that,
telling
yeah.
everybody, subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. WFAN's been around longer than I've been alive. They should have been at 100,000 subscribers.
Super been.
I was on episode 16 of this podcast, and I've watched you build it brick by brick, your time, your money, your energy, and effort. And it's something no one can ever take away from you.
Damn,
so they could hate on it. They can say whatever they want about it, but they don't own anything like that.
No,
right?
Yes, that's what it is.
The ones that are creating, we're collaborating,
Yes.
and we're lifting each other up. The people that are hating, you don't have anything. You can't even speak. You can't sit at the table with me.
No, they can't. It's the man at the arena complex. You know, like they're looking at the guy doing on the field, and they're judging and criticizing because they were scared to do that.
Yeah, you never even came close to putting in the work that it takes to be that guy.
And that's the thing, right? They see us like, you're evolving, you're shining, we're growing the podcast. And they're just hating because they're scared to take that one step that turns into 2 steps, that turns into 3 steps, because they have some insecurity about themselves that they're not dealing with. And the reason I'm making this point is because you could have chose through your brother's death, through your dad not being around, through all the ups and downs you went through in your life, the depression, the stress, the Uber driving to make ends meet. But damn it, man, you chose to be better. And because of that, you stand here in front of me today, blessed more than ever, evolve more than ever, impacting people's lives more than ever. And dude, if everything finished today, you are a success story today, right now.
Right. That's
and
why I
that has
say
to be celebrated.
I'll die a legend, not because of money I made or TV or radio or followers. Like, I'll die a legend because people will tell stories about me. If I had a funeral tomorrow, there'd be a long line out the door. There would be people that would feel like, I got to show up and pay respects to this dude. This dude helped me for nothing. There was nothing I could do to repay Keith McPherson. He helped me. He doesn't even know me, but one night he told a story about this, and it touched me. It lifted me up. It made me laugh. This guy, like I have blazed this trail and affected so many people over the last 10 to 15 years, and I know there's more to do. And I know when I actually am a millionaire, when I actually do have a bigger platform, then I'll be able to financially bless people.
Yes.
Then I'll be able to hire people. Then I'll be able to actually put people on. And that's what I strive to get to. That's the goal. Like, I want to be powerful in that aspect where it's like, no, I can actually physically change your life.
100%. And you're doing it now in real time. And speaking of success, and it's one of your friends, and he said this quote, and it's always, because, I'm so hard on myself, like, oh, I'm not making this much money. I'm not growing as fast as I want to be, etc. Bernie Williams said this quote, and I freaking love this quote. They ask him, oh, you're so successful. You have a music career now, and you were a baseball player and all these accolades. Yeah. And he looked and he said, what's success? What is it? What really is success? And I don't think it's monetary value. I don't think it's how much cars you have, how much clothes you have. It's just, are you happy, truly happy, living in your gift of what you're supposed to be doing? I think that's success.
I love Bernie.
No, Bernie's amazing, bro.
And like, what I love about Bernie is he is the example of when you are successful and blessed, how you treat other people. You would not know Bernie Williams is Bernie Williams. He treats everybody with respect, treats everybody the same. It doesn't matter who you are, what you do. I've been around Bernie a ton of times, whether it's his softball game or his wine event or Yankee Stadium in a suite. And I'm a kid that dressed up as Bernie Williams for Halloween. So you want to talk about like how crazy that is for me?
Another 360 moment.
Yeah. To grow up and, shout out to Forge, his manager, reach out to me. Like, Bernie was listening to your show. Bernie was a big Steve Summers fan. When you came on, he kept listening. We kept listening. And like, I went to Devil's opening night with Forge and his son. Like, Bernie Williams' manager is a friend of mine. I just was at Carnegie Hall watching Bernie play.
With the enemy, by the way, the Mets guy. What the hell is his name?
Jose Reyes.
Yo, how you gonna take a picture with the Mets, Jose Reyes, bro?
I'm repairing my image in the Mets
Yo,
community.
Fam, I know you're happy, Eric. Yo, I was like,
Lindor was there. Lindor's wife performed. There were a lot of Mets people in the building. It was a New York night.
You trying to clean it
was
up.
a New York.
I got you. I'll give you that.
And like, since I was such a villain and such a Mets troll, and Mets fans, literally when I posted my "I'm done at WFAN," there were quote tweets with the picture of people reading the newspaper, Hitler's dead. I couldn't even say it because people took that image of Hitler dead and they used it as me. There are people that believe that because I trolled the Mets, I got fired. So I'm repairing my image in the Mets fan community now that I'm off air and I don't need to really needle them so much. So I knew that Jose Reyes and he was mad cool. I saw him.
Confused.
I talked to him. And you know, when you're a bleacher creature, we hate the Mets. Mets suck. Mets fans really suck. Bam, bam, banana. Mets fans really suck. Like, you know, banana. Mets suck. Like we chant that in the bleachers when they make the different sounds. But now that I am a public figure, content creator, and aiming to be more of a national host and figure that talks about all sports, I'm going to start to shed some of that allegiance and some of that, like, and be somebody that talks about all the teams.
You gotta be impartial.
And I learned that in the media. They want you to be neutral. They don't want you to be,
always.
You can't wear that Yankee hat in the media area. You got to cover the sport fair and honest and ethically.
Down the line.
So like, yeah, I'm repairing my image in the Met fan base and the Met community where when baseball comes around and I talk about Jorge Polanco and Marcus Semien and Bo Bichette, and, you know, if they perform well.
What'd you think of that?
I mean, he can hit.
He's a beast.
He can hit. And I think in that lineup with Soto, whether they put him behind Soto or like those two are going to be a problem. Lindor leading off. I think they deserve a lot of credit for the way that they freestyled this offseason. Because in the beginning,
crazy.
It was like, wait, you don't bring back Edwin Diaz, Pete Alonso, and you get Devin Williams and Luke Weaver? What the hell are y'all doing?
The Edwin Diaz thing threw me off. Like over $3 million of a difference. And this guy has all the money in the world. You lose him to the Dodgers?
Yeah, you can't, under any circumstance, let the Dodgers sign Edwin Diaz. But see, that's negotiations.
Dodgers,
that's
man.
business.
Yeah.
They played their hand wrong. They should have ran Edwin Diaz all the money.
Give him everything. You'll get it back in merchandising. The freaking guy's a monster.
He's arguably the best reliever in the game.
Yeah.
And he wants to win. So you got to pay a little bit more just for the thought that, like, you might win. The Dodgers come in and give him that contract, and it's a record-breaking contract. Why wouldn't he take it to go join the two-time defending champs? And then he doesn't have to come back to you. He doesn't have to come back to you to match it. He's got the best team in the game offering more money than you offered the last time you played your hand wrong.
Yeah, you messed up. It's going to bite you in the ass when the playoffs come, and you're staring down Edwin Diaz in the ninth inning if you're playing.
And Devin Williams is giving up home runs or walking guys.
Oh, my God, bro. Dude, you can't make this up. Seriously, I get frustrated. Even with the Yankees, bro, I would be remiss if I didn't ask you, are the Yankees just dropping the ball altogether, just running it back with the same people?
No, but I had a show last night, and I said they live in the land of what if.
Oh, my God,
and they sleep
bro.
well at night knowing, cha-ching, they're making their
They're
money.
making bread, yeah.
And they live in a land of what if we won one more game? Then we win the AL East. Then we host the division round, and we don't have to play the Red Sox one game. It's baseball, Susan. They chalk it up to that's baseball, Susan. We were this close. They also chalk it up to, we traded for Devin Williams. He blew 10 games. Luke Weaver blew a handful of games. We were paying DJ LeMahieu, so we forced him to play second base and forced Jazz out of position.
Yeah, why would you? Go ahead, continue.
You know, Volpe tore his labrum, and they played him the whole rest of the season. Like, they go to sleep at night saying, we can do better.
But we made money.
We made money. This team is good. And when you go to Fangraphs, they're the number one team as far as home runs scored. You know, it was just a matter of one game. Let's run it back. Also, a lockout is looming. We're going to lock out. So why go out there and give anybody a long-term deal? Why go out there and pay anybody crazy money for this 1 year? We don't even know if we're going to have baseball next year. We're going to have baseball. Yeah. But they're going to lock out. So I think there's 3 ways of looking at it. And what I talked about last night is like, Cashman, own it. Instead of saying,
just say the truth. Yeah.
Instead of saying, I disagree, it's a different team.
We're running it back.
Just say, we like the team.
Yeah.
We feel like we made some mistakes last year, and if we learn from those mistakes, we can be better this year, and we think this is a competitive team. Don't say, I disagree. I'll challenge anyone that says this isn't a championship caliber team. I said it last night, Cashman, we're not trying to win debates. We're not trying to have you challenge reporters in debates. We're trying to challenge the Dodgers for our redemption from 2 years ago and protecting our own history from 25 years ago.
100%. Yeah, we're just like, It's crazy how we won in 2009 and we can't get back to that, and we're a championship team because we just they're stuck in their old ways of just, we're gonna get old players and we're not gonna resign if they want a lot of money. We're gonna let people go. Yeah, we're making a lot of money hand over fist, but the fans are gonna get real rowdy, man. It's not.
The fans are pissed off.
It's
The fans
annoying.
are tired of it. We're tired of hearing, well, ultimately we came up short of our goal, 16 years. Well, if some things went differently, like, it is what it is, man. Oh, if the Dodgers, if the Dodgers,
they're gonna win again.
I know. If the Dodgers don't hit that home run, if we don't take Garrett Cole out, if we're able to get an out in the 5th inning,
gosh, shut up with that.
Yeah, it's
crap.
just like it's
bull.
excuses.
It's
Baseball.
excuses.
I'm tired of living in this theoretical, hypothetical world of what if.
Yeah.
Like, let's get some solid, concrete results instead of living in this world where you make excuses for yourself.
100%. Yeah, they're just like, I stopped being a season ticket holder because of that.
Understood.
I'm not paying all this bread.
It's frustrating.
And it's frustrating. And then I got to pay to get there. I got to pay for food and drinks. It's like,
Sit in traffic, mad as hell on the way
looking
out.
at a garbage product. Not that it's not garbage. I mean, they won what 89.
Yeah,
90
but
games,
they go through the June Boone swoon.
Yeah,
They go through periods of time where like
the lineup is different every day,
and they're doing nonsense. And it's like, why is Pablo Reyes at third base? Why is Oswald Peraza at third base? Why is Yorbit Vivas at third? Y'all couldn't have got a third baseman.
Can't get it. Yeah, and now they got the kid from Colorado, right?
They go get Ryan McMahon. He's
yeah.
expensive, and I don't know if he can hit. He's got a good glove. He better figure out how to hit 20 home runs.
Yeah, his
use that left
defense
field in Yankee Stadium.
And hopefully Wells could throw 30 again because
Wells better pick it up.
Yeah.
We need another right-handed bat. Go get a right-handed catcher to platoon with him. I don't trust JC Escara.
Yeah, I don't trust him either.
No, we got to do better.
Yeah. They're gonna make Aaron Judge Mike Trout. He's gonna be a great player with no championships.
Yeah, I think that's on the table. Some of that is his own fault because when they got there early on, he was a no-show. He showed up last year and nobody else showed up. Go figure. He hits 500. He's got home runs. He's got doubles. He's got high on-base percentage, and nobody else is there to pick him up. Let's hope now, running it back, actually having the same lineup, chemistry, cohesion, learning from getting dog walked by the Blue Jays last year.
Oh my God.
Let's hope that this year is the year that it all clicks.
I mean,
It's always hope. It's always hope week.
Garrett Cole's back.
Right. And that's what
like
Cashman's trying to say.
Yeah.
And that's what I was on too, where they're not running it back because when Cole comes back, he was not here at all last year. But like the fans don't want to hear that from Cashman. They don't want to hear the pushback. They don't want the psst on my head and tell me it's raining.
Yeah.
They don't want the, your eyes are seeing something that's not really there. The Yankees love telling you what your eyes see.
They gaslight you.
Yeah, they gaslight you. Exactly.
That's what they're great at doing. Jeez, well, hopefully they turn it around, bro. I'm kind of tired of the product. So hopefully,
so am I. We're getting
around.
too old, man. We're getting too old.
We need a championship. Keith, bro, I could talk about baseball with you forever, brother. Seriously, man. But besides that, just coming here and just telling everybody where you're at and what you've been through, and just I learned something new from you today, man. And the strength, the character that you have, the faith that you have, I think that's going to carry you into your next chapter. And I wish you nothing but, continued success, continued growth. I'm a small platform. I'm growing little by little, but whatever I can do to help you, I'm always a phone call away. I don't see you every day. I don't talk to you every day, but every time I see you, there's a kinship. There's some sense of like, that's the homie.
Yeah.
And, you carry that light with you everywhere. So I really do wish you nothing but the best in the future. I think.
Nah, man, I love when you text me that you're at the stadium or.
Look to your left.
Even now, I'm driving here. I'm like, I'm a little tired. You got coffee in there? Yo, I'll get you a coffee.
I got you. What
it's
you
like,
need. Yeah.
That's solid, bro. So again, appreciate you and
Love, bro.
so
Appreciate
happy to
you,
see
man.
your platform grow like this because I know the time, money, effort you put into it. And I can't wait to see this finished product. Shout out to everybody that helped. I just know that when this comes out, even with episode 16 we did, which was a completely different episode.
16.
I listened to it today.
That's crazy.
I listened to it today, and like I
dude.
said to you, bro, I'm so thankful for that podcast because so much has happened in the 4 years. I can't even recall the stories that I was telling with as much
crazy.
detail as I told them on wax. That's recorded forever.
Yeah.
And then I shared a lot of new stuff today. So those 2 episodes under your platform, I'm extremely thankful for. And I'll be posting this and sharing it, and I hope people, get something out of it as well.
Nah, man, Keith, thank you so much, bro. Yeah,
of course.
And again, just honestly, just thank you for being a good, kind human being, bro. I think that's something that's missing in this world today.
Yeah.
And, when I first, met you through a friend, like I said, you could have been like, man, I'm not doing this. And you did it. And you did it in good faith. And we built a relationship. And I'm big on just let's build and let's just try to help each other out. That's
Yeah.
what we're here for, you know? Like that's what we're meant to do in community. If you bring it back to religion and to, you know, being a follower of God and faith, we're here to help each other. You know what I'm saying? And,
Yes.
and not do it for our own selfish reasons, but just to do it to be a good person.
Absolutely.
And I'm enamored with the story. That's why I do this podcast, is to tell the story from the horse's and the hostess mouth, you know, with no BS. Like, yo, Keith said this. No one forced him. This came out of you because you felt inspired and moved to share that. So
Yeah, and I always tell the truth, and I always move with this, same thought of like, paying it forward, helping other people out.
thank you, brother. Brother, before we get out of here, man, please tell everybody where they can find you, what you have coming up next, what's on the docket. The floor is yours, bro.
Listen, I go live on my YouTube channel, McPherson Brand, Keith McPherson on YouTube if you look it up. But that's not going to be my job. That's not my end-all, be-all. There are some nerds that say, oh, you left WFAN to go live from your mom's basement. I haven't lived with my mom in years.
Damn, these haters.
But like, you can find me on YouTube talking sports the way that I've always talked sports. Instagram, Keith McPherson. Twitter, Keith McPherson. TikTok, Keith McPherson. But what I'll say to you is I'm extremely blessed. There's no way you do 4 years of New York sports talk radio, Market One, the first ever 24/7 sports radio station, without people knowing your name, your story, who you are, and most importantly, your brand. I was coming home last night from the station. I was listening to the song Believe Me. It's Drake and Lil Wayne. And he says, it's not what you walk away from, it's about what you walk away with. I've walked away from a full-time, nighttime solo radio spot in New York City with a ton of listeners, a ton of support, a ton of knowledge and information that is going to stay with me wherever I go. And I'm having those conversations now. I hope to stay in a part-time role at WFAN. So maybe you'll hear that music and you'll hear that you'll hear me coming in and doing my thing. But like, God has a plan for me, and I know his plan is greater than my own. So stay tuned. Thank you guys again.
Bro, thank you, Keith, and well said, man, and much more blessings to you, brother. Absolutely. Guys, that is a wrap on this episode of I'm an Artist, Not a Salesman podcast. If this podcast has inspired or moved you in any way, shape, or form, please subscribe to my YouTube channel at I'm an Artist, Not a Salesman, and follow all my socials at I'm an Artist, Not a Salesman, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. Please make sure to check us out for more contents and updates. I am thankful for every listener. I pray you have a blessed one, not a stressful one.
I need you by my side. Without you,
That might be an all-timer. That might be an instant classic.
Nah, you know what, dog? I felt like God was...
Yeah. And I know I talk a lot, but I gotta give the depth of information.
No, baby, don't ever go. No, baby.